Hey friends, welcome to the Art Room. Today we are going to be working on portraits for a fundraiser for the PTO. We're going to be doing some square one art, and I'm going to take you through the steps on how to create our portraits for this fundraiser. But before we do, I'm going to share a quick video with you on BrainPop all about portraits. Here we go.
It doesn't look much like you. Uh-huh. Dear Tim and Moby, I think portraits are the most boring kind of painting. Why do people make them? Thanks, Angelo. well, portraits aren't so boring if you know what to look for. Like Moby's self-portrait, portraits are more than just an exact replication of the sitter or the person being painted. In fact, portraits don't even have to be painted. They can be carved in stone or wood, painted on ivory, hammered into metal, drawn in pencil, or taken with a camera. But a good portrait can show you what a person is thinking or feeling, what kind of position he or she holds in society, and even give you some clues about the history and culture of that society. Well, portraits show all that through the background, the props in the painting, and even how the sitter is placed in the painting. To get the most out of a portrait, it helps to approach it like a detective, looking at visual clues to learn about the sitter and the time and place he or she lived in. You'll probably recognize this guy. But this is more than just a picture of George Washington. If you look at it closely, it gives you a whole, essay almost on who George Washington was and what he believed in. Well, look at the background and the room he's in. The chair behind Washington looks like a throne, but it's not a throne, which shows the difference between the democratic United States and the monarchies of Europe. And if you look closely at the top of the chair, you'll see the stars and stripes. There's also a laurel branch, which symbolizes victory, the victory of Washington's colonial army over the British. There's a pen and inkwell on the table next to him, but he's also holding a sword, which says that Washington is a leader on the battlefield as well as an educated and intellectual man. His intelligence is backed up by the books on and under the table. And he's wearing a simple black suit. That symbolizes the fact that he's a humble citizen leader and not a military dictator or a king in royal robes. His face and posture both suggest that he's a strong, powerful man, but also one who's sincere and generous. His arm is outstretched, as though he's giving a command, but the palm is turned upwards, so he looks welcoming, almost fatherly. One critic said that he looked as if he were bestowing his good advice on his countrymen. Yep, Washington is often called the father of our nation. And there, if you look way up in the corner, you can see a rainbow. That suggests new hope for a new country. See, this portrait is more than just a snapshot of Washington. It's a careful collection of images and symbols that show him as a great leader of a new and powerful nation. I know, it's pretty cool. No, portraits don't have to be so representative. Pablo Picasso liked to paint portraits that looked hardly anything like real people. Although he was painting a real person, in this case a famous art dealer, the work is more about the way the painting is put together than what's being shown. And Andy Warhol made a famous set of Marilyn Monroe portraits using unrealistic colors to explore abstract design and repetition. Non-Western cultures have a long history of portraiture too, focusing less on what a person actually looks like than what kind of job they do or what place they hold in society. Hey, you've made my forehead enormous. That shows how smart I am? I don't buy it.
Okay friends, so today we're going to be working on some square one art to send into a company that's going to create stickers for you, and we'll give you an opportunity to purchase different items that will have your original art on them. We're going to be making portraits or family portraits to put on our objects and our stickers. So for today, what you're going to need is a square one art page. And up at the top here, it's going to have little boxes for your name. On the top box, we're going to write our first name and one letter in each square. And in the second box, you're going to write your last name. Okay, So you have your name up at the top. You don't need the other information. I'm going to put a sticker on it with everything typed out when you're finished. So just your name will be enough. We're going to give you a tracer that's an oval, a pencil, a new Sharpie. You can use Crayola markers for this to color in, or you can use colored pencils. And for this project, I decided to use colored pencils, but it's really up to you. The first thing that we're going to do is I want you to notice the outside shape of the paper for the Square One art. The art is going to be square, and we want to be careful not to draw too much on the outside edge because sometimes it gets cropped. You're going to take your oval tracer. This is going to be for the head. And the reason I'm having you trace a head is I don't want you to draw it too small, because when they shrink it down to make the stickers, if your head's small to begin with, it's going to be teeny tiny and you won't see it. Now, you can draw anything that you like. You could draw yourself with a pet. You could draw yourself with your family. You could draw yourself doing something that you really love, like a sport, or maybe playing a video game, or being in the video game. Anything that you like. I'm going to draw myself walking my cats. I know that's kind of a funny topic, but I thought that's what I would do today. So I'm going to start making a sketch with my pencil, because that way if I need to erase something or fix it, it would be easy to do. And when I do a sketch, I do it very lightly. That's why when you're looking at this video, the outline pencil marks are pretty light. If I do need to fix it, I can erase it and it won't show up. So I'd like to have you start by sketching anything that you like, but I would like to have you in the picture. And you can be doing anything that interests you. You can include yourself with a pet. You can include yourself with your family or a friend, or playing a sport, anything you like. Just make sure it's school appropriate. Once your sketch is finished, you can go back over your lines with a Sharpie. This way it'll stand out when the company scans them in. The image will just show up a lot more detailed and a lot easier to see. So I'm going to outline everything I drew in Sharpie, and any little mistakes or things that I'm not sure I need, I'll erase that after. So once your Sharpie is finished up, which I'm doing here, I've decided that I'm going to use colored pencils for this project, but you are welcome to use the Crayolas. Whichever you're comfortable with is fine for this project, but it's either colored pencils or Crayola markers. So I'm going to use the colored pencils, and when I use a colored pencil, I tend to draw on the side of the pencil and not on the tip. I don't hold it straight up. That way I can blend the colors a little bit better, and I also don't push down really, really hard. I try to keep it fairly light so that it blends better and it looks like a solid color. And we want to color everything in. We're not going to leave any white anywhere on the image. And there's a picture of Quill and a picture of Ziggy. And don't forget your background. I'm going to do the grass that I'm standing on and the sky. These will come out much better as little stickers if everything is filled in and there's just color everywhere, nice bright color. So here I'm doing the grass, and then I'm going to fill in my sky. Okay, I'm just about finished here. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sign my name. Now I don't want you to sign it at the bottom or off to the side, kind of towards the middle. I'm going to put my name, and then I'm going to put a 23 because it's 2023, and that way many years from now your family can look at it and go, oh, I remember when you did that. You were 6 years old. So put your name and then a 23 in Sharpie somewhere on the drawing, and then you can give your drawing back to your teacher. Hey friends, I hope that was fun for you. Here's mine all done. And don't forget your name so that you can sign it. When you're finished, you're going to give it back to us up at the front of the room. We'll keep it in a folder and get it ready to go. We'd like to try to have you finish this in this class period because we have other fun things to do the next couple of weeks. So try to get this finished up today, and have an awesome day in the art room. Bye, everybody.